Okay, so this is a quick look at what you can do with a diode or a Schottky diode. And for that we're looking at a Salter kitchen timer which has touch controls. So I got this off of Amazon some years ago, I don't know, like 3 years ago I think. And it seemed to be pretty good as long as you had fresh batteries, because if you didn't have fresh batteries the display would be very hard to read. And also the touch controls would only work intermittently. So it's clear that it's very picky about the voltage. So the first thing actually I did try with this Salter was that I replaced the two AA batteries with a single lithium-ion battery. And now that will increase the voltage to a maximum of 4.2 volts when the lithium battery is fully charged. And that had the effect that although the screen was very good and legible, etc., and otherwise perfectly functional, the touch controls were completely unresponsive. And that's probably due to the fact that with the higher voltage, the touch controls were probably signaling a touch constantly, as it's calculating the voltage difference, and increasing the voltage will probably trigger all the buttons simultaneously, basically just having them pressed all the way down constantly. And only by lowering the voltage to about 4 volts or a bit less than 4 volts, I was managed to get the touch controls responsive again. So first that occurred to me was using these voltage regulators. This is a very common model. This is the AMS1117, and you can have these for a 3.3 volt version or a 5 volts and plenty others as well. And what this will do is it will work as a resistor basically, but it will regulate the voltage to a set voltage, which in this case would be 3.3, and this is perfect for replacing two fresh AA batteries. But the issue with this is that the power consumption can be rather big. I'm not quite sure how much this consumes, but these smaller versions, which appear to be 662Ks, yes, at 3.3 volts, they consume about 15 microamps, if I remember correctly. But even that will drain the battery eventually, so these kind of voltage regulators are something that you should basically be avoiding. Well, not at all costs, but basically if you're looking at for a good battery life, I would personally avoid them. And then of course a resistor will not work because that's dependent on the current for the voltage drop. So then it did occur to me that since I had a lot of diodes and Schottky diodes, that hey, why don't I put two Schottky diodes in series, which will then drop the voltage by approximately, well, if one Schottky diode will have a voltage drop of approximately 0.3 volts, then this would probably bring it into line where it would actually be functioning. And I was right, of course. Well, basic electricity mechanics, so that's not such a surprise. But what I also did notice is that all you need actually is just a voltage drop of about 0.2 volts or 0.3 volts, and by having just one Schottky diode I was able to make the controls fully functional again, despite having a lithium battery inside. So that's one idea on how to get these normal alkaline battery devices that are very picky about voltage, how to get them to function longer times by replacing them with lithium batteries and then dropping the voltage to a suitable level, and maybe even having them with a voltage regulator if needed to attain the optimal voltage. And after that I have now a perfectly functional kitchen timer with responsive buttons. Haven't had any issues with the responsiveness anymore. Other issues though, for example the fact that it gathers a lot of dust behind the glass. Not much you can do about it. I don't know if you can actually disassemble it and clean it. It's a hard time telling how. It's being probably glued on. But it's good enough for me now, and it's been running on this lithium for about 3 months now. No issues. Still going on strong. Probably should also check the voltage soon if it needs recharging. But yep. It's just another tip on how to fix or optimize your devices by Schottky diodes this time. Rightio.